everybody. Sorry, that was really loud. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next interview. Very special interview that we've kept all the way until here. And just before we get into it, just before we start talking about today's guest, I need to start speaking about our Discord server, because that's where this story started. We ended up creating these roles in our Discord server, and the intention was these were some very easy to achieve, not easy to achieve, but if you were running the game, they were quite simple to achieve roles that you would get, the expert roles. It let people know that you were on the right track for the game, and also let newer runners know that you could ask them for help. They were ambassadors for the Discord, and it was one of the first things we set up. Now, the intention with these roles was that people would run one or two of these roles just to flex a little with their favorite characters. Today's guest decided that wasn't enough. Today's guest decided, I'm going to go for every single one of these roles, and became the first person to do so. We then later ended up upping this to the master roles, which were these fantastically harder roles to achieve. They were just insane. Very close to world records at the time, unlike a lot of the expert roles, which were technically close to the world records at the time, but we didn't realize how unoptimized those records were. And once again became the first person to get these roles again, which is an absolutely tremendous feat, may I say. And this is all to say that we're of course talking about the fantastic LooseLogan. How is it going? Oops. Looks like I had you muted for that.
Ooh.
Sorry about that.
Hi, I'm here. I'm bad at talking, but I'm glad to see you all here. And I am excited to talk about whatever questions that Carp has for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's great to have you on here because you were a runner who came literally out of nowhere. Like, there's these stories about people who've been playing SRB2 for like years, right? And they eventually decide that they're going to play the speedrun, but you ended up just coming out of like the actual ether, guns blazing, right? Ready to do the speedrun. And I think that's going to be a huge like motivation for a lot of runners for this game.
Yeah.
But speaking of SRB2 and you coming out of nowhere, how did you end up finding this game?
I ended up finding this game from, I remember like in 2021, I was watching a video and the guy I was watching referenced a lot of really good Sonic fan games. And I remember seeing SRB2 brought up, and I saw like gameplay of it, and it looked like a classic Sonic game, but in 3D. And I love classic Sonic games, so I kept it in the back of my mind for a bit until I saw another video that was saying it was a really good game. So, like in January 2022, I finally decided to play it, and it's a really good game. It's a really, really good game. I'm really glad I started playing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think like it's a little bit of bias, I suppose, but I genuinely think it's the best like fan-made Sonic game.
Really good, yeah.
All right, well, decent. And also brings me into another question, like how did you end up getting into the Sonic series in general, you know? Like obviously this Sonic fan game, but how did this come to be?
Okay, it started off with just kind of playing the games as a kid, but I wasn't really like a Sonic fan. I was just like, I liked the series. I liked playing games like Colors DS.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that. And then I remember specifically being the announcement of Sonic Mania. that made me get into Sonic, because I don't know, the art style seemed really nice, and I just liked the way the game looked a lot. And in preparation of Sonic Mania coming out, I remember I had a game on my DS, the Sonic Classic Collection, and it had all six, or not six, it had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 2 and Knuckles, and then Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So I had all those games I could play, and I ended up playing them, and that's how I fell in love with Classic Sonic. I managed to get all Super Emeralds and beat Sonic 3 when I was like 7 or 8.
Something that people don't even do nowadays. No, that's really
I got
decent.
really into Sonic for like 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mania was a really good game for the series in that regard. Like, a lot of people fell in love with the game again, because I think genuinely, like, Sonic games were on a bit of a decline before then. A lot of people were like, why are we playing this series?
Yeah.
So, and then they released Sonic Forces straight after, and they were like, what the hell again?
Right back into mediocrity.
No, that's pretty cool. So when you ended up coming into this game, like, how did you end up deciding that you were gonna like speedrun? Like, did you speedrun anything beforehand, or was this your first interest?
That's a good question. I think, or no, I know that when I used to play SRB2 just like for fun and before speedrunning, I remember like starting like a new save file almost every single time I opened up the game, and I would end up finishing the game like in an hour with like Sonic. And I was like, man, I thought like an hour was like a really, really good time.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe I should start speedrunning this game. And I ended up doing my first run back in February or March. I have no idea which month it was. And it ended up being like a 36-minute time, which I thought was it's a pretty decent time, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people are getting times like that, and they're playing it off because it's nowhere near like, you know, what some of the top runners are getting, but it's definitely a solid first
Yeah, it's a
time.
very respectable time.
Yeah. So if that's you in the audience, you know, pick yourself up, okay? No, decent. So obviously you ended up coming into our Discord, and I think some of the first things you said were about these roles. You know, how did you end up, like, what stood out about the expert roles they were at the time?
So when I joined the server, I remember looking around at just the different channels and whatever, and I remember seeing the expert role channel catch my eye, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what this is. And then I look into there, and then there's just like this wall of like text, and a lot of the stuff like kind of fueled motivation to continue speedrunning the game. And it was just something that the concept I really like, which is just like getting some nice like badge for completing a cool challenge. And that's really cool to me. I don't know why, I just love that type of stuff so much.
Oh yeah, you're not the only one. I do have something to admit. I don't know how public I have been with this, but I actually got the idea from the Shovel Knight community.
Really?
They did that. They had a role for getting certain times with... At the time, it was the free different stories that you could get. Obviously, they've got 4 now with, I think it's King's Knight. But, yeah, I remembered seeing that, and I was like, whoa, like, some of these times are actually like achievable, and it's pretty cool, you know, how separate they are, and just a nice little accolade. So I was like, how can we get this into the SRB2 Discord? It also stirs up some discussion as well, I think, that... Now, they don't care about it as much back there, but I really wanted it here.
Yeah, they just seem so like special. They're like one of like the 7 Chaos Emeralds to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just nice to have something different. I mean, admittedly, in most recent days, we probably have a bit too many now, but at the time. Oh,
At the time there was only 7, I think.
yeah, because we ended up making the one for Knights. Well, the one for Knights ended up becoming a a master role now. Yeah, because we were like, that's actually really hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, forcing new runners to run Black Core Zone was not it.
Yeah, I remember tearing my hair out over that zone. That zone was so hard.
Hey, look how good at the game you are now. Like, you know, you would have never done that if not for that.
I still never touched like an actual like Nights into Dreams game at all, which I still find hilarious.
That's fair, honestly. It's very different gameplay. I do think the special stages now, though, are better than they used to be. Because before you just collected these spheres and it was kind of uninteresting.
Just in some big open sandbox area with like a bunch of platforms and whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, which was... It worked at the time because we were all, like, really young. I suppose you were when you came to this game, but...
Yeah.
Now that we've seen, like, better games, I mean, like, it sticks out a bit more how bad it was. So, when you started going for the grind, you know, where did you start?
I started with Sonic Any Percent. The sub 24 time.
Oh yeah, that's the distinction I should make. Yeah, so back in the day, well, not even back in the day, it's still the case. You could get the master or expert roles by either doing ILs or any percent runs. And the ILs, I believe, were just something standard like within 3 seconds of 10 world record times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool that you ended up going for any percent. Do you remember what the time was at the time?
The world record for it?
Oh no, the time you ended up getting for the expert role.
Oh, it ended up like I ended up like shattering the barrier. It was like a 23:37 or something like that.
Oh, that is
I forgot
pretty
which one
good.
it was. Or no, I think it was a 23:43.
Yeah, okay, and the time was like 24, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some pretty good going. And what was like the, you know, when you were getting yourself prepared to go for it, like, how much time were you devoting to it? Like, what did your days look like?
I was devoting a lot of time into it. I remember my friends were like, play games with us, hop on like Gary's mod or something, and I was like, no, I must continue playing Sonic 80%. It wasn't like an unhealthy thing, it was just like something that I was determined to get. It's always something I'm stupidly determined to get for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, once you got your head focused on something, I think it's a good thing. You know, to have like a goal that you can keep working towards.
Yeah, I remember like studying different speedrunners and like how they did levels. Like I remember Lemon's world record, which was like a 20:51 at that time, being a inspiration for me.
God, how far we've come since then. Sub 20 these days. Oh.
Yeah. I was like appalled when I first saw that record. I was like, what? Crazy to me.
But my time is nowhere near that.
It's crazy to me that it's below 20 now.
Yeah, I still can't believe it. The fact that 2 people have it as well. But Lemon called it, you know, years ago. He was like, yeah, we can definitely do it. And we all called him crazy. We all shunned him from the community. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. But we were all a bit like, nah, surely not. Yeah, it's kind of insane to see it these days.
Yeah.
And when you were going for all these times, obviously it was the 7 rolls to get the Pandora's proficiency roll. Do you remember how long it took you to once you started your goal to get those?
I believe it took over the course of like about a month and a half to 2 months.
Oh my.
And I think a really large chunk of that was Sonic 80% because, of course, he's the most ran character out of everyone in the game.
Yeah.
So the hardest expert role was Sonic himself.
That makes sense, yeah, because we had more of an idea like what to look for with Sonic, but a lot of the other characters, Amy, we had no idea.
Yeah.
We're like, who runs this character?
I managed to do Amy in like one afternoon.
Oh my god. Yeah, because it's like 27 or something, isn't it? 27 minutes?
It's 27:50, I believe. I have like all these times ingrained into my head.
Oh my god. But you guys who are watching that going, 27:50? You gotta remember, okay? Like, the world record at the time was like 26 minutes. We had nothing to work with. Oh, that's a funny time. And that's what I was going to ask you next about these. Like, what would you say was the hardest and easiest roles to get?
Okay, I'll do a tier list from the hardest to...
Let's go.
Actually, no, a tier list from the easiest to hardest. I think that Amy,
Yeah.
of course, is the absolute easiest.
Yep, that's very outdated these days.
I think that Fang was pretty decently easy. It was like something I could like knock out like in a few days, which fueled more motivation to continue trying to get them all. So Fang is like just fun. If you want like a fun challenge, then Fang's your guy. I remember Tails being pretty decently fun as well. Something I could also like knock out like in 3 days. It was really fun to learn like his whole moveset and how he like works with momentum and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Metal Madness, the Metal Sonic role, was also really fun. It took like a week to do that one though. Like you make really fast progress, and then it feels like you hit like a wall in like progression.
I feel like that's where I am these days, to be honest with you, with Metal Sonic.
Oh.
I did like all of my progression in like our Metal Sonic tournament, and now it's just like, oh my, how do I get faster than this?
Oh.
I think Metal Sonic was harder at the time though, because there wasn't really many like runs.
There wasn't really a lot of Metal Sonic runs.
Yeah, I think
someone
really
did it with
just...
Ultimate Mode though, which was pretty interesting.
Oh wow, do you remember who?
I'm trying to think.
I remember Duck Insurance was doing a lot of Metal
I think
Sonic.
it was Duck Insurance.
Yeah, he was pretty goated like for being one of the trailblazers with that one, being the first to discover how fast he really was.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Ultimate Mode. It's a pretty important step to whatever.
Yeah, no, I was going to mention it later. In fact, if anyone's watching the video in the background is Ultimate Mode. Yeah, so we've got, is that Metal Sonic in third?
And then, or no, Metal Sonic's in fourth currently.
Oh yes, oh yeah, we still have Knights, Knuckles, and Sonic, right?
You mean Red Sonic, which is my segue into the next character, which is Red Sonic is number 3. Red Sonic just felt painful to play as. Like, at a certain point, I hit like a wall, and it was like getting like a bit frustrating for me to like continue making progress, but I always just stopped playing and then came back later when it became a bit too much.
Do you hear that, people? That's someone who's not afraid to speak the truth about Knuckles, okay? You were all brainwashed by Lunac TMM. But Knuckles isn't a good character. I think it's just... I was saying it in the interview with Lunac, but I think it's just the fact that to get any kind of speed with Knuckles, like, you have to compromise so much. Like, it just doesn't make any sense how much you have to do to get any progress with him.
It's very difficult. And I put Knights in second place.
Really?
It
Even
was-
with Black
yeah.
Core being one of the
Or-
requirements?
Or I mean, the old expert role.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
because nowadays it's just the seven
Yeah.
seven main stages, yeah.
Yeah, so I basically had to do the master role for the expert role. And
That's
that
how
one
we
was
knew that you were gonna, like, hit the tops, you know?
Yeah, I remember like some stages like being really, really difficult while some were really, really fast. And that was kind of interesting to me because I remember doing the first two stages like really quickly and then hitting a wall with the underwater one, the deep sea one.
Yeah.
And it took me like a few hours to do that one. I remember the Arid Canyon one also being pretty difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And
'cause all the
Egg
hurt boxes,
Satellite.
yeah.
Egg Satellite was so hard, dude. That one is so precise with your movements and timings. I hate Egg Satellite.
Yeah,
I
there's
like-
too much happening there.
Yeah, especially like the little laser room at the very end of the entire level. That is such like a area of fail.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that one always catches me off guard.
Yeah.
Took Ethereal
then-
a literal week, he says. Oofed.
Oh my god. It took me like just like one sitting of just continuous attempts for like multiple hours.
Oh my god.
I was determined to get that one out of the way.
Real, honestly.
And then Black Core was of course the absolute hardest. That one, I remember I streamed it. I streamed doing attempts live. And I remember Zippy was watching me play. And I remember I hit the time, but at first I didn't know if it was the time or not. So I like looked it up on speedrun.com. And then I realized I think I got it by like 1/3 of a second.
Oh my god.
It was really, really close.
That must have
And-
been a great feeling.
Yeah, the level of like accomplishment that like flourished over me was so like grand. It felt really good to prove to myself that determination can take me places or something like that. I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, no, of course. It must have been, you know, because you've only just started running this and you're like, okay, I'll set out this kind of crazy goal, and here you are hitting it like in like a month, you said.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I remember when I first joined the server, I said I will go after the supersonic role. And I remember someone saying that it's really difficult, and I said in reply, I know it's difficult, but what did I say? I forgot on the spot. I can't believe it.
Oh no, you put it in your video as well, didn't you?
I think so.
If anyone does want to get a kind of recap to how it felt to be in that era of SRB2 speedrunning, LooseLogan, hopefully we can find it to link later, but LooseLogan has a video of all of the moments where he got all of the, I believe it was the expert roles, or, oh no, you did both,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did both.
Yeah, so that was an awesome time. I was like, oh my god, this feels
I
like
said-
such a grand moment, yeah.
Okay, I said, I know, but I could persevere through anything.
How true that ended up being. Like, you were your biggest fan right there.
So yeah, it's always just fueled by my relentlessness. My friends know that I'm like very like masochistic, where I am relentless towards something until I ended up doing it, and I'm known for doing a lot of very, very needlessly difficult challenges.
That's good,
Just
you
for
know,
the hell
because
of
you'll get yourself like, you know, getting out of your comfort zone a lot, doing it that way, rather than being like super safe and being like, oh, I'm just not gonna do it. That's alright. You wouldn't have had this awesome tale to say, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously you said Sonic was like, you rated that like the hardest like expert role to get. Like what stood out about that one?
Sonic was it's like a mix of different things. First, it was the first character I started speedrunning in general, so all the other characters could always use something from Sonic, but I had to learn Sonic from nothing first.
Hmm.
So that took a bit of time to understand. And yeah, it's the most optimized character, which means the expert time is going to be the absolute lowest out of all the other ones. And Sonic has a lot of just really difficult moments that can easily end your run really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And I remember in a lot of runs, I would purposely not take specific routes or do specific tricks so I could just improve on my overall time and not sacrifice it. But over time, I started incorporating more and more kind of risky and dangerous maneuvers and strats that ended up paying off.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously with it being the first character, do you think like that helped you with the others?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if I went from like Metal Sonic to Sonic, I would like suffer.
Yeah, that's fair. So you hear that,
But-
people? If you're watching and you're like, oh, I want one of those expert roles, it's Amy and Fang. Those are the easy ones. Although still not easy, of course.
Yeah, no, they're still not easy.
Yeah, I think you do still have to. I mean, as high as the Amy time is, you do still have to learn a little bit of routing.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I almost drowned in my. I think I almost drowned in my my record Amy run in Deep Sea Zone.
That's fair. Yeah, because she has to take that really long route.
Yeah, before the end.
Now, this was quite in the same vein, but this is your opinion. Like, which of those characters did you enjoy the most, at least?
Okay, I think you know the answer to the least. Red Sonic.
Mr.
of
Red
course.
Sonic, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't
And-
listen to propaganda, people, okay? If you don't like playing as Knuckles, you can just say it. This is a safe zone. Lunic's not here.
And for most enjoyable, even though I hit a wall with him at some point, Metal Sonic is just really, really fun to just blitz through the levels with.
Yes.
He goes so fast. It's insane.
Yeah, Metal Sonic surprised me. Like, when we started doing our event that we did for Metal Sonic, I was, like, blown away with just how fun he was. Like, he's this, like, super well-defined character that we just overlooked because we were just running Sonic, basically, and wow. What a treat, honestly.
Going, like, top speed of Metal Sonic feels like you're driving a car with no brakes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, because you can get, like, the overdrive, and then you can get, like, the speed shoe speed, and it's nuts.
Oh my god, you go so fast with them.
It's a shame. I think they slightly nerfed him in one of the versions where, like, once you turn too fast, he loses his overdrive a lot faster, like than other ones. But he's still fast, and if you do it right, you know, you won't even notice.
Maybe.
If you're a gamer like us, but if you're a noob like the people watching, no, I'm joking.
Oh no!
Come back. Personally, I think Tails and Metal Sonic might be some of the easier roles to get. I think if you learn Tails, it sets you up really nicely for Metal Sonic because they take a lot of the same routes.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of the characters using like same routes. And just like same like item boxes or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like I could transfer some of that skill from other characters to them, and that's how I was able to do other times more efficiently.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot with, like, if you're trying to see if, like, a modded character is good as well, you'll generally, or I try and take, like, other characters' routes, like Sonic or whatever. Speaking of which, were there any like modded characters that you ended up running or that stuck out that you want to run at some point?
Um, there was one character I kind of ran,
Oh my
or
god.
not really ran, but like just played as. I thought the whole idea was really funny.
Is this
Which
your
was-
ultimate run?
It is in fact the wheelchair mod.
Oh
Which-
my god.
For some reason, what I mean by I do needlessly difficult challenges for no reason,
Yeah,
and I ended up doing ultimate mode with wheelchair. I think his name is Inazuma.
yeah. Oh my god. I think that run was like ridiculously long
It
as
was
well.
3 hours.
Yes.
It was 3 hours.
An absolute treat, honestly. I'm surprised, like, I would have thought maybe if you were doing something crazy, it would have been like, you know, start with like Robohood. But wow, that was an interesting one to start with. By
I
the way,
remember. Or you first.
oh no, you start.
Okay. I remember I had to go for all emeralds, and even in the special stages, if you hit something bad, then you instantly die and lose the entire run
Yeah.
with the wheelchair.
Oh my god, even in the
after
oh,
I got-
that's
Yeah. After I got all the 7 emeralds, I ended up at Castle Eggman Act 1, and I spent an entire hour grinding out 2 coins I could grab just so I could get 30 continues. And I remember I did a run where I did do all of that, and I made it to the very end, and I failed at Brack 30 times in a row,
oh
and I
my
lost the
god.
run. It was very painful.
Oh my god. Yeah, you were not kidding about persevering through anything. That is insane. What the hell? Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, the key point there wasn't just it was Wheelchair Inazuma, it was Wheelchair Inazuma Ultimate Mode. But you did a lot of Ultimate Mode runs. Like, what struck that, you know, interest?
It's kind of just like my desire to kind of be unique and just try my hardest to do something that I haven't seen anyone else do, because at the time I was like looking at videos of like ultimate mode completions, because like the whole idea of the game mode like struck like a chord within me,
Yeah.
because it's just like, again, a needlessly difficult challenge that it feels like I could do, but I ended up looking whatever, and I couldn't find anything at all. So I was like, okay, here's an interesting opportunity for me. And I ended up accomplishing it after like, I think, a week of endless attempts. Just for the sake of doing something. I don't know. Sometimes I have weird motivations, but I don't think
Yeah.
they're like meant to be like taken the wrong way.
No, I understand.
It's more or
that.
less just something where it's like I see a challenge and it's like I could be the first to do this. So
Yeah.
then I try to do it.
And that's pretty exciting for like a speedrun, you know? It's cool to be the first, and I think it was yourself who ended up sort of giving people the heads up that if you got all the emeralds, you can start getting continues in ultimate mode, something that you couldn't do before then.
Yeah, and I remember my very first ultimate mode run, I didn't get any continues, so it was all in one go without any emeralds. But when I did go back and do it with other characters like Amy and Knuckles, I think, or no, I think just Amy and Metal Sonic, I collected emeralds just
Yeah.
so I can have a easier time doing whatever.
Well, that's pretty cool, because you give yourself this like safety net at the cost of like a lot of time.
Yeah.
But you did eventually end up improving these, didn't you?
I did.
like we're seeing in the background here. I believe this run
Is
was
this-
25 minutes or something.
Is this my ultimate mode run?
It is.
Oh my god. No, I missed the thing! Or no, I didn't.
It's just hard to tell because it's like slowed down 4 times, but yeah.
I was watching myself miss the spin dash jump up into the swing like 3 times over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, these were interesting runs because you would think, just being like an outside spectator, that these runs would be the same between the games. You're just doing it without rings, but you've got to remember, like, monitors aren't there
for
anymore.
example, this part right here would have a monitor that would always bounce off of, but it isn't there, so I just need to go up the regular way. Because I still have not learned how to do that stupid tree jump.
I mean, it's just Tassies in disguise who do that tree jump. We just let them be for the moment, but we'll take them all down one day. Yeah, it's crazy. I think there's some interesting backups there instead of taking the springs as well. I think people go for the red, like Lemon go for the red springs. There's this weird backup instead of risking getting hit there, but yeah. It's funny how much different the run is in ultimate mode. And obviously only getting 1 chance, no rings, it's exciting. It's an exciting run.
Yeah. A lot of like any percent runs are filled to the brim with pressing the escape button, pressing the down arrow, and then pressing enter.
Yes. Yeah, can't restart in this run though.
Yeah, and you can't do that a single time during an ultimate mode run.
Which is so sad for Green Flower 1. Like, they need to make an exception.
Yeah. Anytime I miss the jump, it's like I need to spend like an extra 3 seconds going to the title screen, then going back to the level just to fail it again. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose because of that, you end up just doing a lot safer strats instead, so that you don't have to keep resetting.
Maybe.
So, obviously we've got all the roles. And we've not really spoken about the master roles. This is probably a good opportunity to do so. But do you think there's a role that was maybe a bit too easy to get? And then conversely, do you think there was one that was maybe a bit too hard to get?
Let me see here. Master Role channel.
Because yeah, master roles took it up a lot. I believe Sonic Story is 21-20 something, which is really, really a big step up from 24 minutes, for instance.
That is, yeah, it's a huge step up. Okay, expert or master roles is a bit of a different story than expert roles because I did all the expert roles in any percent runs besides, the Knights ones because it's only ILs.
Yeah.
But for the master roles, I had to do a few of them with ILs because the records for any percent were so deeply optimized. It would take like months for me to even reach that ceiling of skill. So for some of them, I opted to do ILs. Like, I remember Amy's and Tails in particular being really, really demanding. Oh, and Fang.
Yeah, those were a lot more optimized than expert mode. Expert roles,
Yeah.
I mean.
I remember just like realizing that it's like really, really difficult to actually get the Tails expert role. And I decided to switch to ILs to get the master role.
Yeah.
And that took way less. It was still really, really difficult. And I had to like learn like a lot of really, really difficult moments with Tails, but it's overall like way easier to do ILs than full game runs.
Yeah, for sure. I think for Tails, by the way, unfortunately for you, it was probably a lot more cursed than it should have been because the runners of Tails were absolutely insane. We had Helvian, who was just this hyperwall abusing crazy person. And then, as if it can't get any worse, Helvian gets beaten by someone who doesn't even use hyperwalls. Hopter, like, how good do you have to be at this character? Like, honest to God,
He's not a real human, I swear.
those two are absolutely insane.
And then there was the singular person that, or mostly singular person that made it so Amy was near impossible. Amy and Fang was near impossible
Yeah.
to even attempt to even stare at a full game run of.
Yeah, I think when we made the master role for Amy and Fang, only Emily Saylor had the role.
Yeah.
And for good reason, you know, that time it was hard to optimize it like that. We can't move like that.
Yeah, can we call the master role for Amy and Fang just the Emily roles?
Truly, honestly. Yeah, I believe the expert. I think the master rows were just 10 rows within 3 seconds, which 10 ILs within 3 seconds, except for bosses. And that's definitely a lot more achievable.
Yeah.
How did you find the
And-
others? So, like, obviously Metal, Knuckles.
Metal Sonic was. I believe I did a full game run with Metal Sonic and Knuckles. I mean Red Sonic, of course. And a lot of the time when I was doing these when I was doing these master roles, it was like coming to a realization that it's like I could genuinely feel myself improving at the game.
Yeah.
Like I would hit times with Knuckles that I used to dream of when I was doing expert roles while I was pursuing the master role.
That is always a good
And-
feeling. Like when she started hitting that consistent thing that you were like worried about, it's like, yes. Techno 1,
Yeah.
for instance.
And then I ended up getting the master role with Knuckles, which ended up being like easier than I thought it would be, but it was still really, really difficult. And I still can't believe it that I'm still second place for Knuckles any percent.
Yeah, do you hear that, people? Someone's got to get in here and dethrone the king.
Lunik is still in first. This time from 4 years ago. Oh my god.
That's just because Knuckles is bad, you know? No one wants to touch it.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
That's kind of insane, though, that you kind of came out of nowhere, did all these runs in like a month or two, and like that's still second place. Like that just proves, I think, that anybody can do the same, you know?
Of course.
Speaking of anybody doing the same, like what advice would you give a new runner for this game?
I'd say look at just like the top runners. Don't be deterred by their time. You should see them as inspiration and something that you should try to strive to be if you do plan to pursue speedrunning this game. Just always look at it with an open mind,
Yeah,
and just study their runs, the way they do things, the way they set up things. And something I used to like doing to scope out time saves in my old runs that I was trying to improve was I would put the two runs side by side and watch both of them at the same time and try to see how they improved their time over mine. And sometimes it could just be just faster, just like more optimized movement. They move through corridors and whatever quicker. And it's just really informative to see stuff like that.
yeah, for sure. Because sometimes, like, they might just be doing something simple that you're just overlooking, and you're like, oh, they're just doing that, and then suddenly it clicks into place.
Yeah. Just don't be deterred by slow progress. Progress is progress. I've learned that from a lot of these people here. And they've been really nice to me every step of the journey. I've done.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, you're not going to have people here who are going to be, you know, saying mean things about you, you know, because you asked the question, like, people want to see more runners of this game. We're a very niche community. We're literally, like, hosting events like this so that we get more people speedrunning this game, you know. You're not going to get people being mean like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that is you, yeah, that's definitely it. You know, do your own analysis if you can, but if you can't work it out, definitely feel free to ask the question. It's always worth reaching out.
Yeah, of course.
So, from your time of speedrunning this game, do you think there was like ever a single moment that you were running in it, like this moment in time just stood out for you, and it's like it still sticks with you to this day?
Like a standout moment.
Yeah,
Of-
just any like big moment of speedrunning this game, or you know, some IL goal that you spent, you know, days on or whatever.
There is the one IL that's like way more time than all the other ones, which was, I think you know what it is. It was Egg Rock Zone Act 1 with, I think it was Amy. That one took so long because I believe,
Yeah, they changed it,
was-
didn't they?
yeah, it was different, and you know they said, "Oh, we made it better with the tubes," and they ended up making it worse somehow.
But they were faster, which definitely
They-
helped you catch up to the time needed.
They were faster. They were faster. I will give them that, but they worked like less than half the time than they used to.
Yeah,
So it was like it felt like RNG sometimes. But
It-
that demon Emily Saylor made getting that so difficult, dude.
you know what's funny? When you were going for those times, there was people like Emily Saylor, and then there was Seaballer with Black Core, and not Black Core, Black Hole. And like they were getting so good at the game that I legitimately thought that I would have to make like an exception to the rule, because the rule was just get a time that's within 3 seconds of the world record. But like these world records were getting insane. I was like, how can you
They
get
are,
within
they
3 seconds
are.
of that? So I think in the future those are going to have to be revisited, and we're going to make a set time to get.
Yeah. I
Which won't make it
remember, like,
easier, but at least like it means future runners can't just make these rows impossible to get.
maybe. I remember it just barely inching below the 3-second barrier in the IL, and it was so just relieving to just be done with that level. Because like it's short, but it's like really difficult.
Oh, speaking of the which, actually, didn't you get a time and it got like the time requirement? Like, didn't that literally happen? I think it was Tails.
I think it was on also Egg Rock 1. That level put me through something, dude, I swear.
Yeah, Hopter. I think there was this Tails run in the queue to be uploaded, and it was like just barely too fast to be within the 3 seconds needed to get the roll
yeah.
time.
Well, one thing I do remember was Hopter. I haven't said this to anyone yet, but I think I do remember Hopter reaching out to me for some like helpful advice, and he wanted me to get the roll before he uploaded his new time for that level.
Oh, that's really
So
nice.
it was really sweet of them to do that. Because
That-
if they did, then I would be pulling my hair out over that level.
Yeah. Oh my god, could you imagine if like we didn't even notice you were going for it and then he does that? That is good sportsmanship from Hopter there. Everyone give like a thumbs up or whatever. No, that's awesome. You love to see that kind of stuff. Speaking of Tails, by the way, I would say Tails is one of these characters whose probably going to be a lot of beginners' first choice because he's really like easy to get into. But as Hopter shows, he's not an easy character.
Yeah, I still firmly believe that Scales has, or not, what I said Scales instead of Tails. Ow. I still think that Tails has the lowest barrier of entry, but the absolute highest skill ceiling.
Yeah, Skills has the lowest barrier of entry, but the highest Tails ceiling. No, I agree, because, you know, when you're going to the top level with Tails, you're going for these, like, cycles that are really fast, and you've got to get these frame-perfect spins everywhere, and it's hard.
Yeah. Earlier, you press the jump button after you let go of a spin dash, the faster you get. And so it's just, like, trying to pull off, like, almost, like, frame-perfect timings whenever you do that.
Yeah.
Really difficult.
Try not to do it too soon that you just jump.
Yeah.
That used to actually annoy me. Like, I'm so over it now, but like at the time I remember being so frustrated.
Yeah, I'm charging up this insanely fast spin dash. Time to go. Oh, I jumped instead. Oopsies.
Oops. So when you were like learning ultimate mode, you know, what do you think were the biggest like roadblocks? You know, what was really getting in your way early on?
Dying. Getting hit
well,
by
obviously, right? But anything specifically?
Just there's some levels that are like way more difficult than others in ultimate mode. Like, I remember the progression for it felt really slow, but it was very, very much there. I remember the first time I made it to Arid Canyon, I was like, let's go. I made it to Arid Canyon, and then I died to a cactus.
So easy to do, by the way. You don't realize how many there are until like you can't hit one.
There's like one area that's like just full of just cactuses, and you need to like follow like a very specific like pathway, or else you'll get hit by one.
Just follow the rings. Oh wait.
There's none.
I think, by the way, I don't know what changes, but I think there's like a thing in the code that Brack Eggman is more aggressive in ultimate mode.
Dude, really?
Yeah, no, I think he has a faster attack cycle in ultimate mode.
There's no way.
Yeah, because on the wiki it says that, it tells you which enemies are a bit, like, modified, so I think buzzers also fly towards you slightly faster.
Oh god, they made all like the really annoying enemies in ultimate mode way more difficult. Why?
Yep, like, they were like, good for that, you sons of bitches. Now, ultimate mode's kind of similar to game modes and other games, like hardcore mode. Have you ever played like that for like Terraria or anything like this?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I have not touched Terraria a single time at all.
Whoa, that's you gotta get on that. You know, that's lots of grinds in that game. But
Oh, I've heard.
But yeah, have you ever played any games that have like a hardcore mode and like before this point?
That is actually a really good question. I like games that are like relentlessly difficult. I mean, there's like one example that I could like point out, but it isn't exactly like a hardcore mode.
Yeah.
It's more or less just like think on your feet and get lucky, which is an achievement for this one game in which the only way to actually hide from something, like 100% hide from something and like escape something, is to get into a hiding spot. But the achievement is to get to the very end of the game without entering a hiding spot.
Oh my god.
Which the achievement name is literally just called "We didn't play test this to make sure it was possible."
I love that. Which game was it? Was it one of the Roblox games?
Yeah, it's a Roblox game. But one thing that's interesting about that is that I didn't even do just that. I did the no hiding spot challenge plus not taking any damage throughout the entire run challenge,
Oh my god.
and then doing it on top of using no light sources at all.
Bro, the devs
So
just
it was
watching like,
It was a triple threat challenge.
That's interesting. You must have been really into, because I think there was a lot of challenges like that with like FNAF was popping off with a lot of that.
Yeah, the 420 modes.
Yeah, and then obviously it ended up getting a lot crazier when they released Ultimate Custom Night and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever do
50-20
anything like
mode.
that?
No, not really, but it is something that intrigues me whenever I see something like that.
Yeah, it's very min-maxing, I think, if you ever watch one of those.
I've seen a few.
Yeah, definitely cool. Well, it sounds like that's just like your kind of game mode. Do you play games like that nowadays, which have these big, you know, hardcore like challenges?
Oh, absolutely. That's where I thrive.
Yeah, because I know that you've been progressing a lot on like YouTube recently. Has that been part of that?
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
So you've been like streaming a lot to like YouTube and stuff recently. Have you been streaming like content like that and stuff?
Not necessarily. It's more just like playing with viewers and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Speaking of your YouTube, by the way, like, you know, how has that been going? Because, you know, when I first saw you and you joined our Discord, I think you had a very modest following, but I think that's like, you know, hundreds in size since then. So tell us all about that.
Oh, I believe when I joined the server, the speedrunning community, I had about 600, 700, or no, like 800 subscribers. And current day, I have like 15,000 subscribers.
An insane following. And what did you do? Like, what changed, you know?
What, just becoming older and just making videos that are in 380p, because a lot of my older videos were very low quality.
I feel that. It's one of these
And,
things, you know, once you get into it, it's best to start somewhere, so at least you could easily improve that.
Yeah. I've been doing YouTube for over 5 years. Like, just a little over 5 years. And I would say that my content only started being like serviceable to anyone, like watchable by anyone, around like late 2022.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
And-
Yeah.
And yeah, in 2024 I started just making like a way more gradual leap towards actually pursuing this as a career.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So, obviously, I think you probably meet the requirements if you wanted to get like partnership. Have you done that on your YouTube yet?
Yeah, I am entirely monetized and I make money off of YouTube now.
That's really good going. And how is it like? Is it still just this really exciting hobby, or are you doing it like, you know, is it now becoming like, okay, this is like a business?
No, it doesn't feel like a job for me. I don't want it to feel like a job, but
Yeah.
I definitely do intentionally do a lot of things that make it so it's way more time consuming than it normally would be. For example, I illustrate and draw all my own thumbnails, which takes many, many hours to do. And I actually I got 500 hours on my drawing software this year from just drawing thumbnails and whatever.
This year? It's only been 19 days.
Not this year.
I haven't seen you since last year.
That's a
But
pretty
yeah,
good
I
one.
also make like animations and just ridiculously long videos because I enjoy making longer videos.
How did you get into like animation and the art and stuff? By the way, because you do like digital art, isn't it? It's not like drawings that you trace or anything.
No. So first it started off with me like, or the entire story of how I became like someone that draws stuff is like back in 2014, I believe, where it was. I used to like watching Five Nights at Freddy's like speed paints
Let's
and
go.
whatever. It's like watching people draw or whatever. I don't know why. I just like watching people draw. It's very relaxing.
Yeah, you know, it's quite a chill activity.
And yeah, I would just do my best to try to trace and copy them or whatever, because, you know, I was in second grade. Something that, you know, people do. And drawing also coincided with me getting into Sonic. So there was like this period in like 4th grade where I would like draw Sonic every single day at school because I really like Sonic.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool series. It's not like Oars, who doesn't play Sonic at all and only plays SRB2, the you know, Sonic fan game. You know, you were a fan.
Yeah, I still am a fan.
By the way, I didn't mean earlier like do you trace anyone? I mean, like, I know a lot of people like will draw it on paper and then scan it over, but I believe that you just do everything like digitally, right?
Yeah.
How did you get into like that? Because I know it's not like, I don't know, I can never find many resources myself. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places.
Well, okay. First, I had my iPad of 6 years. I mean, I still use it, but I have I wanted to start animating after watching a few like shows or like TV shows or whatever. And I downloaded Flip-a-Clip on my iPad, and I started using that to make some very like low, just like quick like 1-second animations when I was like about 11 or 12. And I started using Flip-a-Clip to actually like draw like images and like pictures for my YouTube channel, which they've aged. They definitely aged a bit.
Yeah.
And I even started using Flip-a-Clip to draw animations with my characters.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's just like one of these like things that you were doing when you were young and it's just continued on.
Yeah, so just a lot of just development over the course of time. And then about late 2023, I made the switch from actually drawing on my PC, and that has been really good because Flip-a-Clip, I love it, but it's extremely limiting.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists now use stuff like I think it's called Krita or whatever.
Yeah, I use Krita.
Yeah,
That's one I use.
that one I do know.
I went from drawing like in 720p to like my friends have like told horror stories about the canvas size I use on Krita, which is 3840 by 2160.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's big. That's yeah. And then you're like zooming right in to start the drawing. Yeah.
Absolutely. But anyway, over the course of time, I've developed my own art style that I enjoy, which is thick lines, stylized shading, and just
yeah.
My friends. I like drawing my friends. They're very fun to draw.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think when you first explained it to me, that not the picture I used for the stream, but the picture that you used for all of your YouTube content, when you explained to me that that was a Roblox thing and not your like OC, I was like, ah.
Well, it is a Roblox thing, but I think not entirely, but I've spun it off enough to be kind of original in its own way.
That's right. So if you want to steal something, kids, just remember it. Okay.
All great artists steal.
That's right. That's the lesson of today. Now, you did have a brief period of actually being on the mod team, didn't you? Well, even
did.
nowadays, but like you were a lot more involved back in the day. How was that? What was that experience like?
It was like I was inside of like an office building or something sometimes. Where it's like someone like dumps like a stack of papers on my desk where it's like, you need to get this done. And I'm like, yes, sir. And then sometimes I would goof off a tiny bit because, you know, I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
I still do whatever sometimes to just goof off. And I would always attempt to get the stuff done, but sometimes it was just like in my way almost.
No, I get that. I mean, because at the time, you know, the responsibility came with like a lot of verifying runs and stuff, and there was a lot of people verifying runs, especially when we introduced like the modded character leaderboard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was I think that was great for the game. I don't think it was very great for the mods. But yeah, I remember during your mods time, because I wasn't here at the time, but I remember you helped come up with the master role times. Do you remember having much involvement with how they ended up shaping?
I remember having some involvement with, I think it was the naming of a lot of them.
Yeah, that was one of the more fun parts, I think.
Yeah, I like naming them a lot more than thinking of times or whatever. I remember, I think I gave the name of Mechanical Masterpiece to the Metal Sonic one.
Yeah, I like that one. Because at the time,
Also,
I don't think we used, because the roach times have, not the times, the names have changed over time, because I don't think they were all alliteration at the time.
yeah, I remember Metal Sonic's old expert role name was Overdriven Mechanician.
I loved that one. I can't believe that we had to change it. No one else loved it. I loved Overdriven Mechanician.
I liked it.
But it made more sense that they were all the same letter.
Yeah, alliterations are always really fun to do. Also, I think I came up with the name of Hyper Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I think.
Which is good. I mean, you know, simple names and stuff, but it just adds this like little bit of character to get everyone involved.
Yeah. It's very nice.
I remember, though, at the time you were kind of going for the Sonic time, and I think you were just barely off of the time needed. Like, that must have been like... Ooh, I was wondering if you, like, made it faster in your PB on purpose so that you would come back to the category.
No, I think the time was set before I did that run, but that run was more motivating than ever because the run before that, or no, it was such a big leap from the run before that, where it was like, oh my god, I could actually do this, like, if I just put enough time into this. Because that time that was just below the master requirement was like 25 seconds faster than my previous PB.
Yeah.
So it was a really big motivation, and it being so close was like, I was like, I could do this.
I think what you just said there, that was like the original like goal for a lot of runners. So it'd be like, okay, you know, you can get these roles. You're so close, and hopefully push some people. And I think for some people they think it like that, but like seeing you go for all these runs, it was deeply motivating, honestly.
Well,
because you ended up becoming like quite a big resource of this game, you know, on your own, you know, just being this person that people could reliably ask for their opinion. Because let's be honest, you've ran every category now, pretty much.
yeah, I've seen it all.
How is that? Do you often get people asking you for help?
No, but I do hope that someone or people could one day look at
Hey everyone,
my
thanks for
runs
checking
as
out my
and
new
use them
video.
as some
If
sort
you
of like
enjoyed it,
base
make sure
to
you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, for sure.
improve upon.
Well, that's the thing when you're running these this many categories as well. And this again was one of the main inspirations. But having people like that are ambassadors for the game who can just quickly answer something, you know. I can't think of how
Yeah.
many times like someone's asked me like, how do you do this with like Amy or Fang? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Everything has, or for some reason, I spend a lot of time just optimizing very specific angles for very specific things, and it ends up working out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I could share that info or whatever if someone ever wanted to.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the things that I wish was more available in this game. You know, having more resources and stuff that people could read or digest in some way.
Yeah. Come on, Lemon. Where's the rest of your guide? Come
Yeah,
on.
like we have half a guide. Like, what the hell is happening?
Less than half a guide.
Less than half a guide. That's
We
right.
have 1/3 of a guide.
It's a good guide, but we need more of it. No. I mean, it is hard because like Lemon's trying to do such high quality edits of these tutorials when really all the people yearn for is him to get on like a low budget like stream setup and just tell us what to do.
Yeah, just like some awesome music, and people are just like, just tell us what to do, and he's just like, go fast.
Yeah, for sure. So if you have any resources, you can always post them.
Ooh, I can
And
do that. That is
Anyone watching. So, obviously you've been in the community for a little while now, a few years. Do you have any like opinions or ideas for like things that we, the community, should be doing, including like tournaments or events like this one or whatnot?
It would be cool to see some like all emeralds like tournaments, because I feel like all emerald is like a really good way of like evening the playing field for like runner versus runner in some ways, because I don't think every top runner is very experienced with the special stages. So it would be a nice way to kind of just even things out or whatever.
No, I think I agree, because you've got like the first stage, for instance, like you'll see top runners and they'll be doing this like quick loop in a way that grabs all of the spheres, but if you don't know the correct setup for that, like you just lose all this time. So
Yeah.
like if you're just watching
Luckily-
someone do it, you're going to be like, oh.
Luckily, I don't think that trick is like the absolute most difficult thing to pull off.
No, exactly, and it's not even too much slower to just go around that section normally, but like, you know, little optimizations like that is definitely what's going to, you know, take people who are a little bit better than knights than the main stage. Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of runners who probably can't finish an all emeralds run.
Oh god.
Yeah, because you've got to remember how many people even know where the tokens are and know how to do egg satellite. It's going to be a hard time if these runners come against each other. Yeah, that's a good idea. All emeralds. Maybe we should think about that one. Obviously, we did like the one-day tournament with Mystic Realm Community Edition, and I don't think we could maybe do that anymore because a lot more has been added to it since then. But do you think there's any mods like that that we have overlooked maybe to do events on?
Maybe the Sugoi trilogy. Is it Sugoi?
Oh.
Shut up and get on it.
That's a good idea, actually. I didn't even consider. Yeah, because the new version, I don't know if people know this, the new version has come out. version 2.2.14. Although it does have a lot of issues, so maybe hold off on downloading it right now. But yeah, it's come out, and apparently Segoy was waiting for a lot of stuff with that mod pack. Yeah, I like that one. I can't believe I actually forgot about its existence for so long, because it was because it did release on 2.2, but it was on like an alternate exe. Did you ever play that one?
It's something I've been wanting to get around to, but I haven't.
Yeah, I'm the same, honestly. I'm one of these official Nancy's, you know. I've got to wait for it to officially come out. So the name, you know, what inspired this name, LooseLogan?
I haven't told anyone this at all.
Oh my god.
Do I want to explain this?
Oh no.
It's not like bad, it's more or less just like a funny story.
Deep lore.
Just deep, stupid lore. Okay. I'll explain it. I remember I was actually creating my Roblox account, and I remember my brother was sitting next to me, also logging into his, because he already had one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want a username that can stick. Or not really like stick, just like one that feels sort of competent and not like something like XX Pro Gamer XX underscore
Oh no,
420.
I was one of these on Xbox, yeah.
So it was like just trying to think of something that sounded like competent. And
Yeah.
then my brother randomly just uttered LooseLogan. I believe that's how it went, but I can't remember exactly how it went. And I was like, "Wow, that's a good one."
What?
And then I put that as my username.
That's how it is when you have older siblings. I'm told. I'm the oldest sibling, but yeah, you know, you hear this advice and you're like, whoa. Well, it ended up working though. It's really catchy, you know.
Yeah.
It's not quite Sharknado levels are good, but you know.
Yeah, calm down, SBCZ. All right.
Yeah.
But I think the name has taken on like a more different meaning, where it's like you could say something stupid like, "Oh my God, he's on the loose. He's on the LooseLogan. He's LooseLogan."
Yeah, it's just become its like little community meme now.
Yeah. Speaking of community meme, there's always that stupid black core beatbox thing that I terrorize you guys with.
My god. Yes. For some reason, okay, you've got to like.
You're just gonna ask why.
Just get into the mindset for a moment of what we had to. Okay, every single time a speedrun came through, when I got to Black Core Zone, we had to listen to LooseLogan beatboxing a cappella the Black Core Zone 1 soundtrack. And every single time we were like, why are we listening to this? So please tell us. Like, just what was going through your head at the moment. That is just so specific.
There's this one channel I like. I forgot what his name was, but he makes like beatbox acapellas of like different music, and he also made like acapellas of like Sonic songs. So I was like, I like this. I like this song. I was like, I might do a little bit of just trolling. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what my train of thought was, but I was like, it'd be really funny if I put this in my speedrun.
It was really funny as well.
Was it really though?
Every single time it came through, it was like, oh my god. And then you started doing videos with sound, because that wasn't it. That was at the time you used to do like OSTs for all the music that you put in your run.
I used to have just my game muted and I'd add music in post, because I still don't know how to do this. but I would play just whatever on my other monitor while I speedrun, like watching movies or whatever, or watching videos, and I didn't want whatever to go through because I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Oh
for
yeah.
me to-
Well, nowadays you've got like there's like an OBS thing for like application audio, so you can only capture like the game if you want to.
yeah. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, but I still don't even know how to do that at all.
Yeah, definitely look into acapella. No, don't look into acapella, but look into audio application. Definitely helps. Or you can spend like $400 like I did and get a Go XLR.
Oh my god. There's also a Frozen Hillside beatbox. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Oh
at
my
all.
god, you're kidding.
Yeah, I made it like a day after I made the Blackcore one.
That's so fun. I don't think I've seen it because you did so many more any percent runs than anything else. But yeah, that is hilarious. I think I need to look at that one after the stream. I think I know the acapella person that you're talking about, by the way, because I think I've heard some of their chemical plant.
I think we have the. I think we're both thinking about the right person.
Yeah, I think so. So the content you do now, it's like a lot of Roblox content, a lot of, it looks like horror content, or some of it. At least a lot of stuff that comes up seems to be that way. I don't know if it's all the time.
It's not all horror. It's just like one of those things where it's like the horror game is like one of the best games that are out currently.
Yeah, I've been finding that with a lot of games recently, actually. Like, just a lot more effort in those kinds of games.
Yeah.
But is that the direction that we're going to be seeing from you, or are you going to make a return to speedrunning?
I would like to make a return to speedrunning, but a lot more like casual.
Yeah, definitely no huge goals like you've been going for.
I mean, I could still go after a huge goal. I see one that seems like sadistic enough
Oh no.
for me to do.
Well, speaking of weird goals and Discord roles and stuff, we did have the idea of introducing the holy trifecta. You know, if anyone knows the naming convention for the roles, when like expert then master, it was a play on the Terraria scaling system.
Legendary.
And then yeah, sparked up the interest of legendary roles. We don't have a defined goal for these yet, but that would be sick to make someday.
They're just there currently. They're just like in beta.
Yeah, well, right now it's like, okay, so Emily Saylor has all of them by default, like when they come out, but like who else can have one? Sub 20. Well, that actually was we were speaking to Lemon about this before, and Lemon actually said if they made a legendary Sonic role, that it would be sub 20. Do you agree with that direction, Logan, making these roles like so insane to get?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the final boss of the roles.
I always worry that like maybe it's pushing people away. But one of the biggest criticisms we got with expert roles was top runners saying, "Oh, these are too easy to get."
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, well maybe it's a role for them, but a lot of those runners who said that back then don't run anymore. Damn it, Duck, come back.
I haven't seen Duck in like ages.
Yeah, it's a shame how many of the like goats of the game have disappeared. And speaking of goats, by the way, you've ran this game for a while. Did you ever have any, rivalries, friendly rivalries, of course, with any of the runners?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I wouldn't really try to. I'm not one for like trying to compete for something because it just makes you feel like negative, kind of.
Yeah,
in some way.
I think that's why a lot of people won't sign up for like a tournament or whatever, because you've got this like pressure on you.
Yeah.
No, that's
Pressure.
very understandable and fair and based. All right.
Yeah, I don't like feeling like I don't I enjoy. God damn it! I don't enjoy playing a lot of like competitive FPS games because they just make me feel weird whenever I get angry.
Yeah, like Valorant and Overwatch and stuff.
Yeah, I hate Valorant, dude. That game is awful.
I know it's I don't like the fact that I can play a game of like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals or whatever on unranked, you know, the non-serious version, and get people flaming me. It's like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people take it a little bit too seriously. Ranked though, of course, take it a bit more seriously, but you know, yeah.
Ranked is ranked.
Yeah, you're gonna see that in ranked, but like, yeah, I don't know. People just don't have that mindset of playing games for fun, and it shows. Because they're playing Valorant, which sucks. Alright, here comes the question. The chat knows what's happening. I don't know if you've seen this question yet. Have to ask you. I asked everyone else.
Okay.
It's time to get you. Time to get you cancelled.
No.
We're gonna see if LooseLogan can beat the allegations.
Let's hear them.
So this question was quite a popular one. Basically, I don't know how in tune you are, but there was a big debate of the mods changing the character Sonic and giving him an ability that was not the Fock, and a lot of people said, "What the Fock?" when this came up. My question to you is, what do you think of this debate?
I think I've been seeing this floating around. I think that the Thok needs to stay.
Let's fucking go! I'm joking.
They shouldn't replace the Thok at all. Cause like, I don't want them to like turn the game into like just an automated like trash heap or whatever. The Thok is like, people that complain about the Thok haven't figured out how to utilize it properly.
Yeah.
And it's a bit sad to see. I mean, I have a little bit of bias because, you know, I've been like Thoking around for 3 years, and I've learned everything about it. It does have a skill ceiling, but learning its skill ceiling is pretty fun, because at first it feels like you're kind of just flinging yourself all over the place. And I don't think it helps that SRB2's default camera controls or default controls and settings make it so the Thok is really, really janky to use. So
yeah.
that could make them think that way. But once you understand it, it's a really powerful tool.
I think a lot of people have actually said similar. Basically, they've said like there's a lot of like game settings that could probably help with Sonic, you know, that are a bit unoptimized, or maybe like some leeway, like Coyote time or whatever. Because I don't know if you played Mystic Realm Community Edition at all.
I did.
Oh, that's good. Well, yeah, then you'll know they obviously changed the Fock in that game, but they also gave Sonic a Coyote time, and a lot of people loved how he played.
I do like the Coyote time.
Yeah, because it's not like overpowering. You probably won't notice it in a lot of places, which is really good. That's what you want. But yeah, there's definitely some tiny like slope that you'll hit in the main game right now, and it'll register you as like slightly in the air, and it's just really frustrating. Yeah.
They should definitely add that at least.
What did you think of the Mystic Realm Community Edition's ability? Because they gave him that rebound dash thing.
It's really, it's cool. I like it. It's nice for getting up high to places. But sometimes I feel like the level can be like very easily just breakable if you just do that off of like one wall, and it's like, oh, I'm at the end of the level now. Yeah,
I think so. Thankfully, a lot of the levels have been made a bit bigger now, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. When we were doing like a little event that you were finishing levels a lot faster than you feel like you were meant to.
I remember the most insane moment ever of Mystic Realm where I missed the sub 10 by like 1 frame.
Oh my god!
If you remember that.
Oh my god! I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so
And then
sad.
I haven't touched the Mystic Realm since.
And you'll never be able to get that kind of time again because they've changed it. They've added stages. Oh,
No.
the mods for that game has been incredibly based though. He's constantly like adding stuff that the community's asking for, and yeah, just such a good guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do agree though. I think a lot of people who are making the complaint, like, maybe just haven't played it enough, have to just accept that maybe this is just a harder game, like, you know, to get into.
I don't like saying this term a lot because it feels like I'm putting someone down, but it's a skill issue.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you have to say, like, hit them with the get good. I mean, you know, we all, us older people, we played it when we were like 13 and we didn't have any issues, you know? We're still playing. Obviously, you know, we're just built different, but... No, I mean, I agree though. I think they need to like think about like what can we change about the game before we start scrapping people's abilities.
Yeah.
I think a byproduct of this conversation that really was annoying, because this was, I remembered getting really into Metal Sonic, and they were like, there was discussions about just giving the fork to Metal Sonic.
What?
Yeah, they were like, that can be his signature ability, and we'll give Sonic like something like Metal Sonic. I was like, what?
If he did that, you just like it would just be like the boost, like in Sonic Forces, where you start it up by just stalking and then
Yeah, fucking hover, yeah.
yeah, and then you're in boost mode.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fun to me at all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Vibes is in the chat asking, will I be going for better times in SRB2? I don't know, honestly. It's a lot of just stuff to put time into. If I were to like continue like my SRB2 journey, it would most likely just be like doing like really weird challenges.
Yeah. Or maybe like modded characters or something, you know, just something different. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Alright. Well, we've definitely gone over all the questions I had. Was there anything you wanted to talk about?
I think I'm good. I don't think so.
Bro, alright. Yeah, if you have any like shout outs that you want to give, you know, any fans that you have, you know, feel free.
Shout out to the SRV2 speedrunning community.
Legends, those guys.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to have you on. Obviously, it's nice to listen to someone who's actually been through it, and I think the main takeaway that newer runners should take away from this interview is you literally can do it. Like, that's what LooseLogan had like proved when he came out of nowhere, got all these insane times. I won't lie to you, Logan, I got a little bit worried when you got all the expert roles, because you kind of went from like one to the other, and
Yeah.
I was like really worried that you would just stop speedrunning. I was like, oh no, he's hit his goal, like he's just going to stop speedrunning the game. But it was nice that you did eventually come back and hit these incredibly awesome like master roll times afterwards.
Yeah. It's like the way I work when I speedrun is that I speedrun like a lot in like one go, like one swift time frame. Like I'm just constantly on it, and then I enter like hibernation until I come back sometime whenever.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think a lot of people who've like burnt out from a game and then come back to it have like come back and just PB'd instantly because they don't have that pressure on them.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what you felt a lot, like this pressure of, oh my god, I just can't improve. But no, again, it was great to have you on, great to listen to everything that you had to say. And yeah, of course, our next person to speedrun in this event is
I
none
wonder who it
other
could be.
than Mr. LooseLogan with a game that I didn't even bother to look up, but I assure it will be fine. It's Ultra Kill.
It's like, okay, think of it like Doom, but for the next generation.
I love that. That sounds awesome.
So yeah, you play as a robot going through layers of actual just hell, and it's really cool.
Sounds really awesome. Well, we'll get Logan set up with that. But in the meantime, everyone, say thanks to Logan for the interview. And yeah, we'll peace out for the moment. See you after this break.
See you.